It was July 25th, 1990. San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium was packed with over 30,000 baseball fans and millions more tuning in at home. The San Diego Padres were playing a doubleheader against the Cincinnati Reds, but nobody remembers the game. What everybody remembers is the four-letter word yelled into the microphone, a screeching rendition of our country's sacred song, a literal spit in the face of every American tradition. It became one of the most infamous moments in television and sports history. Today, we're talking about Roseanne and the National Anthem Disaster, here on the Disturbing 90s.
This video contains subject matter that may be graphic. Viewer discretion is advised.
If you love this deep dive into weird, unsettling, unforgivable moments that shape the pop culture of our past, make sure you check out upinthepast.com for more incredible stories. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button right now and follow us so you never miss another episode. At the absolute peak of her fame, sitcom queen Roseanne Barr stepped up to the pitcher's mound, took a deep breath, and delivered a performance so universally hated that it reached the highest level of the United States government. But how did a simple pregame tradition turn into a national security talking point? The real story is actually a mix of terrible planning, a bit of panic, and a misunderstanding that backfired on a global scale. To understand why this happened, you have to understand who Roseanne was in 1990. Her own self-titled sitcom was the #1 show in America. She was unfiltered, working-class hero of the country. Tom Werner, the owner of the San Diego Padres, also happened to be an executive producer of the Roseanne show. He thought having his massive star sing the Star-Spangled Banner at Working Women's Night at the stadium would be a massive marketing win. Roseanne actually hesitated, but eventually agreed, assuming it would be fun, lighthearted appearance. When she walked out to the mound, things went wrong before she even opened her mouth. The stadium's audio system was plagued by a terrible delay. As Roseanne started to sing, her own voice was echoing back at her through the massive speakers, a full second late. If you ever tried to speak while hearing your own voice delayed, you know it completely wrecks your rhythm. Roseanne panicked, and she realized she couldn't hear her pitch. She was completely off key. And instead of trying to fight the audio delay and save the song, she made a fateful split-second decision. She decided to lean into the bad singing. She began deliberately screeching high notes, screaming the words at the top of her lungs. To the crowd in the stadium, it didn't sound like a performer struggling with the sound system. It sounded like an arrogant celebrity mocking the national anthem. By the time she reached the halfway point of the song, a wave of boos was already swelling through the stadium. The crowd was turning hostile and fast. Roseanne finished the final line with a frantic yell. As she turned to leave, the field of the stadium erupted with absolute fury. Hearing the intense boos, Roseanne started to double down on her brash television persona. She grabbed her crotch, mimicked a baseball player adjusting their gear, and spat on the ground. This single gesture transformed a bad vocal performance into a massive cultural crisis. The next morning, the media circus was relentless. Talk shows were flooded with angry veterans. Newspapers across the country called it a disgrace. It got so big that President George H.W. Bush, speaking on Air Force One, publicly condemned her performance, calling it disgraceful and an insult to the country. Roseanne faced death threats. Her show faced boycott threats. For a moment, it looked like her career was completely over. She later explained that the crotch-grab and the spit were her just trying to do a funny, standard baseball impression to deflect from the boos, but the public wasn't buying it. It took years for the public anger to fade. It remains the ultimate blueprint on how not to perform the national anthem.